world of wonderful people, I have an actual real doctor here. Her name is Ebony Ellis.
Hello.
And I'm going to interview her today. So, I'm going to start with the interview.
Okay.
Okay, so can you tell us about your career? Like, how did it begin? And, like, what are your pursuits and stuff?
Okay. Well, I am a family medicine physician and have been one for 6 years. It started kind of at the passion of helping people and seeing family members who are in the field of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to become a doctor at an early age. Went to college, majored in biology. After that, went to med school, and then became a doctor once I graduated from med school.
Well, what school did you go to?
I went for undergrad, Tuskegee University, which is in Alabama. And then I went to Florida State University for medical school, because I'm from Florida, so that was kind of my ties to home.
So what like sparked your interest in
In medicine?
medicine?
In science? Well, my uncles, I have an uncle that's a family medicine doctor, and an aunt that's a pediatrician, and another uncle is a physician as well. So I looked up to them, and I saw how they were pillars in the community looked up to them. And then I also, as a young girl, I liked helping my siblings and my cousins. Like if someone got hurt, I would put the Band-Aid on, clean them up. And I liked science. I enjoyed math and science in school, and so it just kind of seemed like the right fit for me. I just knew I wanted to do what they did, and so for a long time I wanted to be a doctor ever since I was young.
So you're like a lifelong, like you knew what you wanted to do.
I did.
I wish I could say the same.
It's okay if you don't. It's okay if you don't.
What is like the best thing about your career? Like what's like not the best, something like the least thing?
The best thing is I get to meet new people all the time. So I have close to 2,000 patients.
Okay.
So that's a lot of people that I get to meet and develop relationships with. And I learn a lot from my patients. I mean, I have different ages, races, ethnicities, religions. So I learn a lot from my patients. I also enjoy, the best thing is seeing them get well, like actually seeing someone go from sick to well. Or if I do a procedure and see it helps them, I enjoy that aspect of my job the most.
And what's like the least, like something that you would just say, I don't need that in my life?
Well, those days do happen. I would say the least is you do have people or patients sometimes who can be, I wouldn't say ungrateful. So sometimes you see that, especially if you go out your way to help people and they don't realize it, or some people feel they entitled to certain things, which they necessarily aren't. Other thing is seeing people get sick and not get better, or die. Those are the kind of, in medicine you do see that, and that's unfortunate, but it is a part of life, but you hate to see that happen.
So like how many years of education do you need to like start this career?
Okay. So you gotta go to high school. You gotta get your high school diploma. Then you gotta go 4 years of undergrad. So and that could be any major. And then after that, 4 years of medical school. And then after that, you do your training, which is called residency. So for me, it was 11 years after high school.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of time and dedication.
It is, but it does go by fast. And when you're enjoying and you're learning, it really go by fast.
So, how do most people get into this field? And what are like common like entry job levels?
See, how do most people get into this field? Could you give me an example?
If you could start all over again, how would you change your career path, like in any way, or would you not?
Okay. If I could start over again. I would not change what I'm doing. So I would still be a doctor. But probably what I've learned and what I've seen from other people in my field is I probably would have minored in, like, I enjoy like music and the arts, so I would have did a minor in that and still did my core medical classes, because you can do both. And become a doctor. Like, there are people who may major in engineering. There's some who majored in theater and still became doctors. So you can do both. And initially I always thought, you know, you just had to do
medical stuff.
Yeah, right, the medical stuff. But you do have to do that, but you can do other things too. But that's the only thing I would change. But I just go to the shows now and enjoy the arts instead of, you know, participating. But.
So like, would you have wanted, if you couldn't like choose to be a doctor, would you have wanted to like pursue a career in like the arts?
Yes.
But
I realized I wasn't as great as I wasn't as great. I knew that I probably could go further in medicine than in my talent in dancing and singing. But I did in high school like theater, like singing and kind of Broadway type stuff. So I did want to do Broadway. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Broadway?
I have.
Oh.
Yes. Hopefully I'm gonna go this December. I'm going back to New York, so hopefully I'll get a chance to go again. But
Cool.
It's a lot of fun.
I always wanted to see The Lion King.
I want to see that one. I saw the one. My mind's going to blank. And sorry, by the end of the day, my brain does this. With the Green Witch. Oh, yeah, you probably.
The Oz.
The one with the Oz, but the witch one, the evil witch. About her.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That one is really good.
It's good.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we digress, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Right,
It's good.
that's
It
right.
could be it.
Okay, well, what would you tell girls that like watching this, right? Oh, in the future, and what would you tell girls like to help them get into this career path? What would you like? How would you encourage them?
Well, I mean, if you have any inkling that you want to do something in healthcare, if you want to be a doctor, talk to people, spend time with those in that field. If you have relatives, your doctor, ask your doctor questions and see how they do. I do feel medicine is it is a career that is in every facet, science, and you can do, you know, sports. If you like sports, you can be a doctor of athletes. If you like computers, you could help develop an EMR, you know, record. So you can do medicine in pretty much every field there is. You can do some form of the science classes, science career, excuse me.
So it's like a vast like amount of careers you could do with like just like a medicine degree.
You can. Some you have to be a little creative with, but yeah, you can. There are people with medical degrees who don't touch a stethoscope and listen to patients.
Excuse me.
Got it? Cough it. That's all right.
Okay. What professional organizations do you like belong to?
So there are two. There's American Academy of Family Physician and North Carolina Academy of Family Physician. So that's just a group that family doctors we're in, where we go to conferences. We have magazines. We learn about different things on medical topics. So that's one of the professional organizations that I'm in. I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and so I'm part of the physical and mental health committee of there. So I do use my talents in that way.
Yeah.
And then I think that's it.
As in, could affect future opportunities in the science field.
You know, that one's challenging. There are a lot of developments. Like I said, you know, because technology is huge, we're seeing a lot more technology in medicine. So even like computers, you have your medical records are in the computer. Now people are doing visits on the computer. In terms of engineering, we got new devices for examining patients and testing patients for certain diseases. And then you have like gene therapy, which is kind of like biomolecular and biochemistry, where we're tailoring medications and treatments based on your genetic background and things like that. So there's many advancements. They're always coming up ways for different type of cures for medical problems. So it's evolving. It's never ending. And that's the one thing about medicine is, and science is typically it's a progression and things change for the better.
So it's like an ongoing thing.
It is.
Everybody just finds something and they're like, oh, we have this today.
Yeah.
So, what are there any opportunities for self-employment in your field? If so, like where?
Definitely. Everywhere you can have your own practice. So in medicine, family medicine, being a physician, you can have your own practice. There are a few around here and in other states. But most people in medicine tend to work in a group. And I think the only reason that is because we have to take call. So if you're by yourself, you'll be on call every day of the week. So it's really just covering each other, so you do have a time to spend with your family and relax and not have to worry about work.
Considering all the people you met in like your field, what attributes are essential for success?
Okay. You have to, number one, you have to want to be a lifelong learner. So you have to desire to improve your skills, learn more. You can't think that you know it all, because each day something new comes up, and so you do have to be a lifelong learner. You have to be empathetic, which means you have to put yourself in other people's shoes to effectively treat them and just to reach them. You have to kind of put yourself in their shoes. You have to be a great communicator, so you have to speak well, but you also have to listen. And so in medicine, being a good listener is very important. It's one of the most important things in medicine. The skills come with time and practice and experience, but becoming the art of medicine is sometimes in the listening and the empathy.
What are some common career paths in this field, and what advice would you give someone who is considering this type of career or like field?
Okay, so in medicine, there's many different types of doctors. You have, the ones that I say interact more so with patients. So like myself, family medicine, pediatrics. You have your surgeons, and then you have the ones who spend more time in labs, like pathologists who look at slides. You have medical examiners who do autopsies. You have radiologists who read x-rays and CAT scans and MRIs. And then you have anesthesiologists who they're the ones that administer the drugs during surgery and do procedures like during surgery. And so there's many fields, that's just a few. But even in those fields, there's different areas of those things you can do. So, like I said, it's endless what you can do in medicine. And then, what was your other question? Part of that, it was a two-part to that question.
What advice would you give someone who was like considering this type of career or field?
It's fun. It's challenging, but it's a good challenge. You're always learning. If you want something where you're always learning. It pays well, which I think is important when you look at careers. I think that would be
the sole purpose of going into school.
Well, yeah. If you spend 11 years at school, you hope to
stay in the career.
So you have to enjoy it. So right. So that is also something that I would like to tell people, is find something that you love and are passionate about, because you have a while, unless you hit the lottery, or like 65 typically is the age you can retire. So you have to enjoy what you're doing, because you're going to be doing it for a long time. So
yeah, I would say so. Well, that concludes the interview.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
for your time.
Thank you for your time. I enjoyed it.